Hello students, today we are going to discuss the criteria for spontaneity of any process. So, one criteria for spontaneity of any process that we know generally are del Z is less than or equal to 0. Del Z is less than 0 means the process is irreversible and del Z is equal to 0 means process is reversible. But this whole criteria represents criteria for spontaneity. So this is a spontaneous irreversible process and this is a spontaneous reversible process. Now let us discuss the more criteria for spontaneity of process. This we can understand by taking example of Maxwell square, or we can say by drawing Maxwell square. So Maxwell square is like this. I have already discussed the trick to learn this Maxwell square. Sorry. So this arrow is added here and this arrow is here. Now, what are the tricks? So, to assign the spontaneity criteria, we have following tricks. For delta Z, what must be the value of delta G so that the process be spontaneous? So, we have pressure and temperature are adjacent to delta Z. So, dZ, first spontaneity criteria, dZ at constant temperature it is adjacent to G, and pressure it is also adjacent to constant temperature and pressure is less than or equal to 0. This is the first spontaneity criteria, or we can write delta Z at constant temperature pressure is less than 0 or equal to 0, less than or equal to 0. Now second spontaneity criteria, in the same manner del A we have here temperature and volume are adjacent to Helmholtz function A. So dA at constant temperature and volume is less than or equal to 0, or we can write delta A at constant temperature and volume is less than or equal to 0. This is the second spontaneity criteria. Now in the same manner we have delta U. So S and V are adjacent to delta U, so we can write du at constant S and V is less than or equal to 0, or we can write delta U at constant S and V is less than or equal to 0. Now we have both H, so S and P are adjacent to H, so we can write dH at constant entropy and pressure is less than or equal to 0, or del H at constant S and P is less than or equal to 0. So these are the four spontaneity criteria in terms of del U, del H, del Z and del A. So these are the four spontaneity criteria. Now the spontaneity criteria in terms of thermodynamic variable or thermodynamic parameter, that is temperature, pressure, volume, spontaneity. What are the spontaneity criteria in terms of these thermodynamic parameters or thermodynamic variables? So this we can also obtain from the trick of Maxwell square. How? Let's see. We have Maxwell square like this. Now firstly we have S. So here we have U and V are in a straight line with S, and here H and P are in a straight line with S. So first spontaneity criteria in terms of ds, d del S at constant H and P is greater than 0, and for ds and dp we write greater than 0 sign, and for all others we have less than. So ds at constant H and P is greater than 0, and here also we have U and V. So ds at constant U and V is also greater than 0. So this is the spontaneity criteria in terms of ds. Second, we have spontaneity criteria in terms of dp. So dp, we have p here, so H and S are adjacent to here in one line along with P, and here G and T are in line along with P. So dp at constant H and S are greater than 0, and another dp at constant G and T is greater than 0. So this is the spontaneity criteria in terms of dp. Now we have spontaneity criteria in terms of temperature. So we have G and P are in one line along with temperature, here one line, and A and V are in one line along with temperature. So spontaneity criteria in terms of temperature is dT at constant we have dT at constant A and V is less than 0, because in this case we have less than 0. Only in the case of ds and dp we have greater than 0 sign. So we have dt at constant A and V is less than 0, and secondly we have dt at constant G and pressure is less than 0. So dt at constant gas free energy and pressure is less than 0. Now we have dV. So relation for dV we have, so dV here V, so here U and S are in a straight line along with V, and here A and T are in a straight line. So dV at constant A and T is less than 0. dV at constant A and T is less than 0, and dV at constant U and S is less than 0. Here we have with constant U and S is less than 0. These are the spontaneity third criteria and spontaneity fourth criteria. So we have these four spontaneity criteria in terms of dt, dv, ds and dp here in terms of four thermodynamic parameter, and also we have spontaneity criteria in terms of thermodynamic potential, that is dg, da, dg, da, and du and dh. So these four spontaneity criteria thermodynamic in terms of thermodynamic potentials, and four spontaneity criteria in terms of thermodynamic variables. So total 8 spontaneity criteria we have discussed, and this is all about the spontaneity criteria. The questions are asked only inside this spontaneity criteria in the competitive examination. Thank you very much.